In this video, we're going to go through a simple 10-minute routine that you can do each day if you're someone who tends to get achy feet. Now, it's important to note that a potential cause of achy feet is actually wearing shoes that disrupt your natural foot function. And we have a whole video that goes through this concept in more detail and has some tips on how to transition to more natural footwear that allows that natural foot function. So highly recommend checking that out. But the purpose of this video is to help you offset the effects of years spent in conventional footwear and to help your feet feel better along the way. So let's get stuck in. So we're starting with some toe mojo, basically some simple toe mobilizations where you grab your big toe like so and your little toes like so, and you're just stretching them in the opposite direction, nice and gently, exploring your range of motion and going in both directions. So I mentioned the footwear that can kind of cramp your toes together, and it also doesn't allow much of this natural mobility. So just passively mobilizing like this can be a really great way to offset some of that and to bring some movement, what we think of as movement nutrients, into the area. So you can see as I work down the foot, I'm grabbing each toe individually and pushing and pulling. And you'll feel a bit of a stretch, often a bit of a skin stretch as well. Very normal, a little bit of discomfort. So just explore that range of tolerable discomfort and avoid anything that is overtly painful. 1 minute on one side, and then 1 minute on the other side. So I've gone from holding the big toe and all the little toes to then holding the first two toes together like that. And then holding the first three toes together. And then 4 toes. And this toe mobility, especially going back into extension, is a really important part of walking and running. And often this gets restricted after years of disuse. So restoring this, while it might seem very simple and can help a little bit with the achiness, is also a great way to improve your walking and running mechanics over time. So once you've done 1 minute on each side, you can move on. Okay, next up we've got human toe spreader. So this is where we're interlacing our fingers through our toes like so. And you can start with just a small amount through here and on the side. That's going to be the easiest place to start. Over time you can build up to going further and further in, and then bringing it even more in line like that, which will give you the maximum amount of spread in your toes. So whichever level you're working at, you can add a little bit of movement here as well. Again, you could be going up or down, and this is just allowing us to restore some of our natural toe splay, which again gets disrupted by the narrow shoes that squish our feet together. And then this mobilization again helps bring in some of those movement nutrients that we're missing just from not using our feet enough. So over time, as you get used to that stretch through the toes, you can be more and more, I don't want to say aggressive, but more explorative with that range of motion, and you can get even more foot movement involved as well. But just be gentle with your feet and build that up over time. Once you've done 1 minute on one side, we can change to the other side. So again, whichever level you're working at, if it's here, you could just be doing little movements like that. If you really struggle with any of this, like you can't even get the fingers in at all, then wearing some toe spreaders, or what we call wild toes, can help to do some of this for you and can be a great thing to wear around the house while you're barefoot. But as soon as you are able to do some of this, it is a great way to mobilize the feet and actually gives you spread or splay beyond what you get from those toe spreaders, and obviously allows you to bring more of this sort of full foot movement in as well. So whichever level you're working at there, 1 minute on each side before moving on. Okay, next up we're going to be doing some toe crunches. So we're keeping our ankles still and just moving our toes down like that into flexion, and then up into extension. Down, up, and you're actually searching for this sort of almost crampy feeling through the feet as you flex, and then releasing it as you extend, and you can build up the speed that you're doing this as well. So really the aim with this is to get some active movement in after having passively mobilized the toes. And the active movement is a great way to obviously bring circulation and blood flow into the area, which can go a long way towards making your feet just feel happier and healthier. And this blood flow is actually really important for removing waste products and just keeping the whole area healthy. So we're starting with toe crunches like this, and we're going to go for 2 minutes. If you need a rest at some point, if you just need to stop, relax, and then go again. But the idea is that you're going to build up to a full 2 minutes of just toe crunches, which can get a bit monotonous, but you'll really start to feel your feet working, and that feet working feeling, like I said, can make them actually just feel a lot better, especially after the fact. It might be a little uncomfortable at first, especially if you are getting that sort of crampy feeling, but just work within that edge of the crampiness. And once you've done 2 minutes, then you can move on to the next exercise. Next up, we're going to do some ankle circles. So this is continuing on to what we were doing with the feet, bringing active movement and blood flow into the area, but then also getting some ankle movement. And our ankle movement and function is intimately related to our foot function. So bringing this movement in a full range of motion is a really great way to free up the whole area and make it feel better. So we're going to go 1 minute in one direction, like so. And you can start with just small little circles like that. Try and build up the range over time. Big circles, as big as possible, as big as you have access to. 1 minute, and then reverse the direction. As with the toe crunches, you can rest and relax and just shake it off if you're feeling like you need to, and then get back into it. Have a timer set so that you know how long you're going for. So at first, if you need to have a rest or two throughout the 2 minute set, that's fine. But as you go through this routine, then you want to build towards the ability of just doing this for 2 minutes straight. Again, might feel this sort of uncomfortable tension in the muscles as they work in ways that they're not used to. Over time, you'll actually learn to enjoy that sort of pumpy feeling, and you should find that, again, it frees up your feet, makes them feel happier and healthier. So once you've done 1 minute in each direction, you can move on. We're going to finish up with some plantar release. If you've got a mini roller from a Soulmate, that's perfect. Otherwise, a rolling pin or something similar will do. Starting at the base of the big toes, and we're just rolling down the length of the foot while adding as much body weight as we can tolerate, so that you can relax into that pressure and not be tensing up against it or holding your breath or gritting your teeth. As you get to the end, you take the weight on the back foot, reset, and then go through that process again. So rolling down, and this deep pressure also acts like a bit of a nutrient to the feet. evolved in areas where we'd get a lot of deep pressure from rocks and roots and logs and all of this. And so we don't really get any of that in our natural environment today. But that doesn't mean our feet don't need it to thrive. So this is basically like a massage for your feet that you do to yourself. As always, some discomfort at first is to be expected. Just monitor that and use as much body weight as you feel able to. And once you've done a minute on one side, you can change to the other side. And something you can do as well is find a spot that feels particularly tight or sensitive and stick on that spot for a little bit while moving your toes. And remember that you can breathe long, slow, deep breaths in and out through your nose is optimal while you move, and then you can find another spot and repeat the same thing. So either rolling down, resetting and going again, or searching for those spots and adding in those toe movements. Either way, go for 1 minute on both sides, and then that's your routine wrapped up. Thanks for watching. If you're getting value out of these videos, please like and subscribe. That helps support our channel, and we put out videos like this every week. And if you're looking for more structured programs and guidance from TFC pros, live calls, community engagement, then we have all of that available in our Explorer membership, which you can find all the details about in the description below.